Hello, this is Uncle Jim, and this video is for MC, and this is his channel. It's actually an M period C. Let me see if I can. Speaking of C, it's focus. All right. So, last video is for he saw about the Foxtrot mics. I left out some stuff. I asked him a bunch of questions. Paul. And he said, I asked him, are you going to make a 10 millimeter, just like my 45 and 9? And when are you going to do 300 blackout barrels? And he didn't sound too enthusiastic on either right now. So we'll see. So this brings us to this video. Well, first, I left out in that video that I got on Paul's case for their shorter guns. They had the forward blast diverters on them, but they didn't leave room to put a suppressor on some of the short guns. Mine's an 8.5 inch. And now it looks like they are doing it. So he listened to that because I got on his case. I'm like, hey, we got a ton of suppressor guys out there. That's what these things are for. And so I guess, if you got a suppressor, you got to be very careful about where the muzzle leaves the handguard, because some are inside and some are outside now. But it's a good thing. I just searched around a while ago, and now they're doing it. So that's great. So I gave him crap for that. And then he saw I like the two-stage trigger. Foxtrot used to sell them. You get the same ones from Palmetto. When they're about 50 bucks. The two-stage are super reliable on blowbacks, especially the worst one. The most picky triggers for blowbacks are 22s, believe it or not. And then one last thing, one of the things they were saving cost for the exclusive guns, probably like you bought, I don't know, where they just put GI triggers in them, So there's that. Okay, on to this. This is about 10 millimeters. So I asked Paul, when are you going to make 10 millimeter? I love my 45 and my 9s. Where's my 10? And so today I started looking around, see if anything's new in 10 millimeter blowbacks instead of direct impingement, because blowbacks are super easy to clean. But then I thought, 10 is going to have quite the jolt. And can they get away with the blowback? So I was checking my emails, and Bear Creek had some stuff. So I checked to see if they made one. Yeah, they do. They make two, and one's on sale right now. It's like 16 inch. One's on sale. Okay, which brings me to start looking at the Bear Creeks, and I found this channel today. All right, and down below, I think the first one I hit on was the extractor ain't right. Okay, and then he fixes it. So if you're interested in such stuff, a lot of guys I know are that watch me. I'm not really a channel, I'm a goofball. Anyway, you might be interested. Now their extractor tolerances are off, but he fixed that. That's exactly how I would have done it. And then I looked at a couple more of his videos on the Bear Creek 10 millimeter, and I asked him about the feed ramp. They got an aggressive feed ramp, and how's the support? So he just did a video for me just now while I was doing the last video. It's video tag today, and I just saw this guy today and subscribed. So check him out. So he did this one, but it didn't cover what I was looking for, the question. So we're going to cover that today. All right, so I was curious, little monkey, on an inexpensive 10 millimeter, and a few things I was curious about. We know the high points out there. What I was curious about, the impulse of the blowback in 10 with hot loads. And I saw him shooting it, and it didn't look bad at all. He didn't even have a stock or a pistol brace on it, so I was like, And then I saw, the extractor. Their extractor is really skinny on the Bear Creeks. where the Foxtrots are wide like that. They're heavy duty. But I was curious. I'm like, hey, this thing's on sale, right? Well, the 16 inch is on sale. I'd probably want the shorter one, but so I asked him some questions. I just saw his channel a few hours ago, and I think Missouri for Conservative, I think, is his full channel name, but it's just M.C. Anyway, he doesn't know me. I don't know him. We have similar interests, though. His last video, he pulled out a box of the Speer Bulk Pack 250 that you could get cheap in Hollow Points, and he had a box in 40, and I laughed my ass off because I got this a long time ago when they were like 35 bucks, and that made me laugh. So he mentioned that. So we do have similar tastes in a few things. One of them is 10 millimeter. So he doesn't know me, and what I was getting at is, since here's like a plain blowback AR barrel, right? We got a chamfer all the way around. The Bear Creek, and you can watch his videos, has a kind of a severe feed ramp there. So I was wondering about it. And it's kind of on the inside instead of the outside. So in a previous video, you guys seen me trying to make my aftermarket Glock barrel happy with my stock Gen 4 Glock barrel. That's the 6-inch Glock 10 millimeter. And I was trying to make them both happy, but this thing just has a tight chamber, okay? Which is fine, and I solved that by doing the question I'm asking him now. Now, he showed how much, let me size one. Let's see if this is a good witch or a bad witch, and this is what I'm getting at. Okay, that's a good witch. So what my question it was really is, on the chamfered area here, on the AR, I hope we're in camera, how supported it is all the way around the rim here. But what I'm really concerned is the feed ramp area. Is that supported? Now this aftermarket is really supported, and it's a little tighter circumference in the chamber. Now the Bear Creek that he showed wiggled about like this one, so that's fine. It's not going to expand the brass with really hot loads and you're constantly squeezing it back. But the main concern, as we all know, is the bulge. Does it bulge after it's fired with hot loads? After you size it, will it still go in the chamber? And I thought it's easier to do a video than try and reply to his videos and explain. Okay, so that one's good. Now, this is range brass. It didn't come from my guns. Anything that comes out of here is going to be really tight. Out of the Glock Gen 4, it's not going to be bad, but it'll expand more than this barrel a little bit. And it'll be similar to the Bear Creek, which is fine, as long as you don't have an awful bulge here. Now, what I was getting at, here's one. I'll size it again. I got this in my hand. Okay, here's one. Range brass that doesn't fall in all the way around after it's sized. And when I saw this, I'm like, that came from a PPC gun or a barrel like this, because it wasn't all the way down. And it is sticking out all the way around. I don't see a bulge on one side. It's all the way around. And that told me it's from a barrel like that. All right, now there's other ones in here that fail after being sized. And sometimes you'll find a bulge, like the older Glocks. The Gen 4 isn't bad. It's got a pretty good support. And I'm talking about, let's see, watch this. Okay, see, I had to push that in. But the Gen 4 has pretty good support at the feed ramp. It's a lot better than the older Glocks. Some of them you'll see with a bulge. Now, that's what I was looking for. I hope this makes sense, MC, what I was asking. And I have a video where I'm loading. Where is it? I should have, where did I put? I have some 10 I'm meaning to shoot, all with casted bullets. I don't know where I put, oh, I put them in bins. Okay, I put them in bins. So, what I do, and I showed in that video, now I got these mixed up, I'll have to check them again, is when I have someone's unknown brass that I don't know how it's going to be after it's shot, to save time, instead of just loading them and then having to pull a bullet because it's got a bulge or something, and your eyes can't see everything, what I'll do is I'll have my tray up here, and it shows in the last video, and then I just flop it in the gauge. See, that one's great. Before I go to prime it and load it. Okay, it just saves me a lot of time and headache later. Will it fit this barrel or not? A lot of these brass will go right into the Glock, no problem. But on the aftermarket barrel, this is super tight chamber, okay? And that's great as long as I check it first when it's unknown brass. And then I can shoot the snot hot loads out of this Mach 2 with your hair on fire, and the brass is going to last a lot longer and it won't have a bulge. So, to recap, I was wondering, with a hot load at the feed ramp area, all the way around, but mainly right here is it bulging, because those things are pretty good damn price when they're on sale, and they're complete guns. I would just prefer the upper, if it was compatible with my Foxtrot 45, that would be ideal. The ejector should be fine. Now when it comes to 45 and 9, it's not a big, it's not an issue at all, at least what I found when they're chamfered, unless they got carried away. Some of these companies, when they do barrels, they get sloppy and they're like, hey, people are complaining they're not reliable, so we're just gonna ream the snot out of the chamber here, so it'll feed, or they will ramp it. And that's okay as long as it's, you know, within reason. So that is my question. Because I'm not sure if he reloads or not. But if you reload, it's very important so you can get lots of rounds out of these. And you know how much 10mm costs. This cost me nothing, pennies, because I'm casting my bullets, powder coating them, and shooting them. And they're better than factory. So there's my question to you. And I enjoyed watching your videos. We got similar tastes on stuff. Even the spiderweb thing, I dealt with that with the generator. I didn't watch that though. I just saw the guy a few hours ago. All right. Anyway, check out his channel, and if you're interested in the Bear Creek, check out the extractor. Now, Bear Creek could easily fix that, just like that. I don't know how that even got out. You know, other people have had the same problem. They could fix that in a second, but it happens, okay? Whenever they come out with new, especially a different caliber, it happens, okay? This 45 barrel wasn't chamfered enough, okay? And the bolts got to be right. After that, it's smooth sailing. Until next time, if you guys have any questions, thanks for watching.